Hi all, welcome to Kensington Oval, or more appropriately the rebranded Kensington Oval. So we started this process approximately 6 months ago to upgrade the Mecca, as it's more affectionately called, to bring it back up to world-class standards. When Kensington Oval was redeveloped back in 2007, obviously at that time the facility would have been at world-class standards, but you fast forward 17 years later and things got a little old in the tooth. Infrastructure started to look a little stale, light levels had not gotten below minimum requirements, the capacity of the stadium needed to be increased, and so on and so forth. So we undertook within very finite timelines to upgrade almost the entire facility. So we want to give you a brief look at that facility today in the tour, and introduce you, or at least show you parts of Kensington Oval that you would not generally see coming in as a fan. When you come as a fan, whether you come to cricket or you come to a show or any event at Kensington Oval, you normally come and you sit down in the stands and you watch the cricket or you watch the show. But we want to kind of give you a behind the scenes look in the Players Pavilion. We want to take you in the media center. We've also added some additional capacity. So as we talk about capacity, we have approximately 11,000 permanent seats at Kensington Oval. What a requirement when Cricket West Indies and ICC did their venue inspection approximately a year ago now, was they wanted facilities around the region to have as much capacity as possible. And to put that into perspective, last year India hosted the World Cup final. India actually played Australia in that final, and there were 130,000 persons at that match. So compare that to what we have now as 11,000 permanent seats. We needed to kind of increase the capacity as much as possible. So what we did is we erected a grandstand in the Eastern Concourse, as you can see over there, and that grandstand will hold over 2,500 persons. We also now added a hospitality structure, 3 levels in the southeast part of the facility between the scoreboard and the media center. That hospitality structure will hold somewhere between 1,200, perhaps up to 1,800 persons. And then we also have the beach party stand, which will sit in front of the grandstand in the east, which will hold approximately 2,000 persons. And that beach party stand integrates, some of the best of Barbados. One of the most significant areas of upgrade would be in terms of our lighting. So we've changed out our old halide lights to LED lights. Those LED lights have multiple benefits. One, they are cheaper to operate because they utilize less electricity. That's good, for our pockets. It's also good, for the environment. The government has committed to being carbon neutral by 2030, and we at Kensington Oval thought we should certainly be at the forefront of such, being one of the most recognized, if not the most recognized facility on island, and I dare to say in the Caribbean. So the intent is to become, even at this facility, net neutral in terms of our consumption, even if not a net positive with respect to contribution. If lights were to go out for any reason, right, the benefits of these lights is within less than 60 seconds, these lights will come back up. We do have 100% backup at the facility, but then that also requires a switch over. In that switch over, lights can go off. So we need the ability now for the lights to come back up almost immediately so that there's very little disruption in play. So on the second floor of the media center, before this upgrade, we were able to host approximately 38 full-time. We've expanded, now we can hold 100 plus some additionals on a part-time basis. So all these stands from 3Ws to Greenwich and Haynes to Holland Griffith to Hewitt and Innes, all of these stands have had upgrades, right? So with respect to bathrooms, as you go in the bathrooms, you're going to notice meaningful upgrades in those areas. Hospitality areas have also been upgraded. And then finally, the Players Pavilion, right? So I know myself and the team, there's been over 300 persons, probably over 400 persons have worked over the last 6 months to upgrade the facility to what it is today. I'm working double shifts, working day and night in order to get this stuff done, and we want to thank them all. But we also want to welcome Barbadians and visitors to this upgraded facility. And truthfully, we hope you enjoy the experience. We hope you enjoy what you see, and we hope you enjoy kind of the upgraded look and feel, and you too are similarly proud as we are. Thank you.
Good evening, folks. Good evening. Do you like it? You like Kensington Oval? It doesn't get better than this. We're about to begin. We're very interested to Red Excellency of the shows. He's coming. There he comes. Give him a round of applause. Because of people that God favors for rest that we're here this afternoon. So give me a round of applause. Give on icons. So that's all. The Red Excellency after service. Sure God. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Let me apologize first and foremost for the Most Honorable Desmond Haynes, who could not be here with us. He wanted to be here, but he's in Jamaica with the West Indies cricket team. Now, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Noel Lynch, and I happen to serve as the chairman of the National Organizing Committee for the World Cup. Now, I am going to be very brief because, like they said when they got Bradman out, the people didn't come here to see you bowl, they came to see Bradman bat. So I know nobody came here to hear me. But just let me say one of the reasons why we're here this evening. Since the West Indies started to play cricket in 1928, the first test match at Lord's, 385 men have played test cricket, have played cricket for the West Indies. 90 of them in test cricket, 8 others in non-white ball cricket. 98 people from Barbados. As a matter of fact, Barbados has produced more West Indies players than any other territory in the Caribbean. 25.45% of all the people who have ever played West Indies cricket are from Barbados. 1 in every 4, the Prime Minister says, she no more master than me. 1 in every 4. And therefore, that is the reason why we are here. They have mostly honed their skills here at the Mecca, Kensington Oval. And that is why Barbados has deeply invested in this facility, the best cricket field in the West Indies. I am going to, when you add the other 4, there are 4 other people who have played test cricket who are from Barbados, but they've all played for England. Gladstone Small, Roland Butcher, Chris Jordan, and Geoffrey Archer. And them come from Barbados too. So when you look at it, over 100 people from Barbados have played test cricket. Now, I'm not going to be long. You really want to hear about the refurbishment of the stadium, what we have done to make this facility work. But I want you to give a round of applause to all the members of the National Organizing Committee that have worked tirelessly to make this possible. 43 agencies make up the National Organizing Committee. You can't call all their names, but all of the heads of all the members of that committee are here this evening. So if you have any questions, you can ask them. And then there's a core group of people who have managed this project at the administrative level for 6 months. Well, 6 months. And I want you to give them a round of applause as well. David Reeves, Van Court Rouse, Javier Reed, and Francine Charles. Now, the people you really want to hear from, though, you really want to hear from Damien Gaskin. He is the chairman of COMI. He is the man who has overseen all of this work from beginning to end. And I'm going to turn the microphone over to Damien. He can talk to you. Give him a round of applause, please. Damien Gaskin.
Thank you, Chair. You say no? Well, I can go this way. I can go between the two greats. All greats, nonetheless. All greats. Good evening, all, and welcome to the refurbished, rebranded, upgraded Kensington Oval. As Noel said, it's been 6 months. We started in November in earnest. We took a brief pause to host England for a couple matches, and then right after that, through Christmas, through New Year's, through every and anything, we've had contractors here working double shift day and night to go from where we were to where we are today. I can't call all of them, but we've had over 400 persons working here at Kensington Oval between then and now in various capacities, most of them local. We've also had to bring in some international experts to help with various aspects, right? We've brought in experts to help with respect to putting up the lights, the grandstand you see over there, the hospitality structure. But one thing that we ensured is that the international experts worked alongside our local labor in order to pass on those skill sets. So the grandstand, and many of you have come in here, a number of you have done the tour over the last 2 to 3 hours. And many that I've done a few tours myself in that period of time, and everyone. Oh, and Noel also did a couple of tours as well. But every single person that we took on the grandstand was impressed. Right? Not everybody went to the top. Many of you did, even those who said they weren't going up. How many went to the top? Enough people, how it feel? How it look? Right? So it looks spectacular from here, right? Some people were, I think, a little afraid to go up top. But once you go inside there and you look up and then you walk up and you feel the structure, it feels good, it looks good. It's a great vantage point. So I would like to thank every single person, from our board at Comey, to the project manager, to BTII, to the Ministry of Finance, to the PM, to every single person that has been a support to this project, for me personally, as well as for Kensington Oval and for the people of Barbados. I've made calls at, you name the hour, because we needed something to come in last minute. It got stuck here. Anyone who's gone through construction, and maybe I fancy myself a park construction manager at this point in time, but anyone who's gone through construction knows that if something is going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong. But it's not what went wrong, is what we did then subsequently to make things right. And invariably, when cricket starts on Sunday, and I want everyone who's come into the facility now come back on Sunday and see it in action. You look at the field looks, I was told today, the field looks like a carpet. Right? Looks immaculate. Those who were here in December, we had complaints, but BCA ground staff put in a lot of work. A lot of work. Tons of work went in over the last 6 months to get this field to look like what it looks like today. So you see the little checkered pattern, we getting fancy with how things look. A little checkered pattern in the field, diamonds and so on and so forth. But we could only do that if the field looked and felt in the condition that it was in. I wish we all could go on the field to feel it, but maybe another time and another day. But we certainly ain't doing that today. We need the field to be in good nick come Sunday and for the rest of June when we host the finals here on June 29th. I've spoken to a lot of you over the last few hours. There was an introduction. I don't know if you want me to repeat myself much, but I guess I can highlight a few areas. One, the light towers, right? That was probably the single biggest spend on any individual item as part of this upgrade. We had all halide lights. which at that, before the upgrade did not meet the minimum requirements of ICC standards. And those standards had increased. And why did they increase? They increased for broadcast, right? And just a few tidbits. The guys that were doing the light integration, and maybe say light integration, you see what I mean? You know, when we get a little dark and we turn on the lights and, you know, maybe do a little dancing and thing. The guys were here up to last night. And they said, and we did some light tests. So there's lux levels, there's also something called CRI and TSLI. That's not my field, but that's what they tell me. They said this is the most lux that they have ever tested in the world. And they did 7 of the last 8 Super Bowl games. And this stadium has higher lux levels than any of those fields that they did. Yet the guys that put up the polls and the lights, they said we have 468 LED lights here. Also, they put up lights at NFL stadiums, Major League Baseball stadiums, and some of the biggest stadiums in the world. This is the second most lights in the world that they've put up, 468 lights. Only one other stadium in the world they said had more. That was in Anaheim, right? So, again, I say some of these things because I personally am very proud of what we have here at Kensington Oval. I hope we all are proud of what you've come and seen today. And I hope we are, and not only now, but truthfully, we maintain it as we come in here. Treat it like we at home. Seriously, treat it like we at home. So, again, welcome. Thank you all for coming. Okay. All right, so what we've seen today is what we call really phase 1 or really phase 2. Phase 1 started before England, then phase 2 was after England, and then after the World Cup, we're going into phase 3, right? And phase 3 then includes what? Field covering for one. So back in 2007, we had these little puzzle pieces that took, 6 weeks to put down and bring back up and didn't do a good job at really protecting the turf. So we're bringing in field protection that we can go down. It can be down 2, 3, 4 days. We can put stages, so there's drivable and there's non-drivable field covering. So we'll be able to put stages on the field without having any impact on the grass. So the grass will then be able to, after you brush and cut, it will look like nothing was on the field thereafter. So we want to be able to play cricket one day, have effect the next day, play cricket 2 days thereafter, right? That's the intent. We want to increase the utilization and of the capacity. Secondly, we're going to do what we call drop-in pitches. So the square there, and that square is new, by the way, right? The square there, what we call the pitch block, those are 6 pitches. We want to be able to take those out and put something else in the middle. So if you want to play tennis in the middle of Kensington Oval, we put a tennis court there, right? Play some lawn tennis there. Have the and these things we keep in, by the way. So you want to have tennis here, you have tennis here. You want to have a WWE or a UFC in the middle, you have that here. You want to play FIBA World Cup qualifier, we can do that here. Truly, we want to be able to increase the utilization of the facility, right? And have world-class entertainment, right? Let's put a stage in the middle. Let's have it be circular, right? All the stage guys, the sound guys, the promoters and what's not. We can certainly utilize the oval in a way that has not been utilized before once we get the drop-in pitch, because that's right now, that's a hindrance with respect to anything happening on the field. Once we have the field covering and we can remove the pitch, then the possibilities are endless in terms of events at Kensington Oval. And if we can do the 3rd most popular event in the world, that being the World Cup, then there's no event that we can't host here in Barbados and at Kensington Oval. Also part of the legacy would be an indoor facility. So that's going to start in earnest after the World Cup. We're going to start the drawings, the speccing. We've already started having conversations on that. But we want to have a world-class indoor facility at Kensington Oval. So we ensure that our teams from youth all the way up to adult, they don't have any deficiency with respect to the ability to train day, night, and have the requisite technology to do so, right? So we are, we will continue to be greats in cricket. I think there's a few areas that we over-index in as a small island state, right? We have beaches, we over-index in terms of cruise lines, and we certainly over-index when it comes to cricket. So how do we continue doing so is by facilitating the youth with the appropriate technology so that there's really no one in the world that can outcompete us in that area. So we're gonna do that, the indoor facility. Anything else I missing? Is it? Drainage? Hey, but the drainage has always been second to none. Oh, the ice baths. Well, I think many of you went and you saw the ice baths today that don't need ice, right? So you think about it, we went through it, we talked about it, we weighed the pros and cons, and we wanted to future-proof Kensington Oval. We want to future-proof this facility. So as opposed to getting the ice bath and having to have, fill it with ice and let the ice drain and so on and so forth, we got a state-of-the-art ice bath. Doesn't require ice. Gets cold, you treat the water, someone comes out, someone else goes in, right? So we've spared, I wouldn't say we didn't spare the expense because the budget was not endless. People keep hearing these millions and millions and millions of dollars, but it wasn't endless. And you see the facility, you built a facility in 2007, right? And you fast forward 17 years, you would expect, and look around. Every house owner knows you gotta spend, you gotta maintain. If you gotta change the roof, that's $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000. Look at the roof here. Look at the PV system. One of the areas also that was very critical and important to us is in terms of our impact from a energy perspective. So we wanted to become net neutral, or as net neutral as possible with respect to how we utilize energy. So the light towers help in terms of reducing our consumption as we've changed out any equipment around the oval, whether it be lights, whether it be air conditioning units, and so on and so forth. We've gone LED, we've gone inverters, right? Those things in many instances save between 25 to north of 50% in terms of energy consumption. So we reduce the consumption and we increase our what we generate, right? So every single roof at Kensington Oval has PV panels on it. We have approximately an 800 kilowatt system there. We will save hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in electricity. So I think you've heard enough from me about, the boring stuff. Hopefully you guys and ladies enjoyed what you saw. I enjoyed showing it. I am very proud of what the team has achieved. They keep telling me about other things I mentioned. So these screens are new, right? So once again, if you had a screen that was 16 years old, a computer that's 16 years old, you would appreciate it needed upgrading. Screen being new. There's also a secondary replace screen that we had to add, almost as big as the first one. One is 40 by 20, the other one is 40 by 16, but also very high specs. That screen will not stay there permanently. That screen can come down. It's modular. We can use it at other parts of the facility. We can use it here for events. So it also creates an additional stream of income for us. Similarly, the grandstand. We made the decision that we are going to keep the grandstand and we're going to keep the hospitality structure in Barbados. These structures came in over 40 containers. For those of you in shipping, you know shipping costs them between $7,500 and $10,000. These stands were actually at the F1 in December in Las Vegas, right? So those who question how sturdy they are and what they use, that's where they almost just came from, right? But as opposed to spending a few $100,000 just to send these stands back out, we spent a little more to have them in Barbados and to be able to utilize them, whether it be here. They're modular, so if you wanted 500 seats to go somewhere else, that has the ability to do such, right? If another island needed some seating capacity, we have the ability to rent it from them as opposed to us renting it from where we rented it from. The company rented it from is based in France. Some of these containers came from France, some came from Vegas, some came from Miami, right? So now we have these stands here locally on a permanent basis, and we also have the skill set here locally that can put them up and can take them down, right? So like I said, I am very proud of the work that we've done. The project manager, Remo, has been here working assiduously along with his team. Like I said, I don't want to start calling names. Huh? Stay? Right, Ray Stan, take your bow. Yeah, but a number of persons have assisted, like I said, on this journey. And if I don't call you personally, you understand why. But from my heart, I appreciate it. From my heart, the process has been a learning experience, but I've enjoyed it. I enjoy what I do generally, right? People come and tell me, you didn't look too stressed, you didn't look this, you didn't look that. I got assistance, I take things in stride, things go wrong, I call Noel and Noel fixes it, right? So, but on a real though, I appreciate all the work, I appreciate people coming out here today. I hope you enjoy the Oval, I hope you take care of it, and I hope you enjoy the cricket and come and support Kensington Oval and West Indies team. Thanks.
Man, give Damien another round of applause, man. Damien has been. Jamal, come. We need to hear the Prime Minister says from both the newer set of cricketers. She said the old and the young. I don't know the old and the young. The old and the young. We want to get folks who have really been in the vanguard of creating and impressions of creating cricket for the future in Barbados. So I'm going to let this young man introduce himself, Jamal.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jamal Smith. I've been asked to come and share some of the things that we've been doing inside the Ministry of Youth, Sport and Community Empowerment with regards to the cricket, but not only cricket from this international level, but from the grassroots level. We try to focus on what we call the legacy component emanating from this World Cup. And essentially what that is I'm sure you heard about the Block T20 tournament, for instance. There's actually a community cricket proposal where we're looking to introduce concepts that not only speak to a tournament-based model, whereas you just have a tournament, fanfare, and that's it, but personal development for all the diamonds in the rough that we can dig up, so to speak. We're going to search the length and breadth of the island for particular talents, fast bowling, leg spin, what have you. And we're going to try to put them together, get some personal development components in, and get these guys and girls on the field of play. So that's part of the legacy component. As far as the value proposition for cricket is concerned, as we know, what happens between June 1 and 29 is considered economic activity. What's happened before then, but what will happen afterwards is what we are seeking to ensure. And at the National Sports Council, we're now putting down related surfaces that should mirror what happens here at Kensington Oval in terms of pitches and facilities where young people, especially ones that are not captured by the BCA, who are doing a tremendous job, by the way, with their Center of Excellence. We're planning to take some of those people that would have spilled over, put them into a system that will mirror what the BCA is doing down here as well, and put these people out to play, because we don't want to miss the numbers. As you know, the catchment for cricket, seeing people playing cricket in the villages is not what it used to be. So we have to go to them, we have to go to the schools, and we have to put them somewhere where the government can take care of them as well, along with the job that the BCA is doing. As far as the legacy is concerned, we've done a project for community cricket. We're trying to take a look at the BCL cricket as well. And we've done a project called the BCL documentary, where we've sought to historicize the great league that would have produced some of the great gentlemen that you see here this evening. We've had some extensive interviews with the likes of Joe Big Bird Garner, Most Honorable Desmond Hayes and company, who share their stories on where they started from, the community grounds they started from, and how their careers have taken off and gone on. And one thing that was clear and that came out from that project is in need to embrace community cricket. So it's not a case where we're doing things willy-nilly, as we would say. We're trying to put everything together and get as many people out as possible, many young people, boys and girls, playing cricket from the community level, playing cricket from the grassroots level, and getting them all the way to hopefully what we see here.
That's it. Give Jamal a round of applause, man. Jamal is one of those people who's trying to make things happen for young cricketers in Barbados. The next man really needs no introduction at all. We did a promotion in Miami. I was standing next to him and another man. I was standing next to Joel Garner and Lawrence Rowe. And the man came in and he said, 3 greats. Joel Garner, Lawrence Rowe, and you must be Desmond Haynes. I said, yes, of course I'm Desmond Haynes. Joel can tell you I'm not lying. But ladies and gentlemen, the best combination bowler, test cricket, and limited over bowler ever in the history of the West Indies, Joel Big Bird Garner. He's the chairman of the Legends of Barbados.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to welcome you all to Kensington Oval. It didn't all begin here for me. It began at South Point, which is a BCL team. It's a small village enterprise, and that is where it grew from. But for me, it is a pleasure to be associated with the redevelopment of Kensington Oval and all the things that we're doing. Jamal spoke about BCL origins and the cricket. For me, I've started some preliminary discussions because I want to see cricket in the communities again. We've got an under-23 program which we at the Legends want to run on an annual basis. We're not creating competition between anybody. What we're actually doing is trying to expose as many people as possible to cricket. And if we can get, say, 12 teams in 11 parishes, it means that we would have started somewhere. One of the other things that we are doing is that we've gone back to the primary schools, and Cricket Legends are in the primary schools on a weekly basis. What we need to do is to firm up our commitment to the Ministry of Education. I feel that education and sport should be under the same ministry. Sorry, man, I'm Prime Minister. I'm not sharing any lashes. But when I was going to school, they told them we're under the same ministry, and there was a common understanding. You know, I don't mind when it comes to 11 plus, the principals wanting the kids to do well and they withdraw them from the sporting activities. But I think that if you can merge education and sport, I think that would be a good synergy. It worked for us in all of those years ago, and I think it can work for us again. I'm glad I'm not a politician, but it's all right. Yes, I could have been, but I like the family life. What I would say to you is though that I try to encourage the youngsters and keep mentioning football and cricket and keep being, not we, but as a former cricketer, I've realized that we have been handed the dirty end of the stick when it comes to cricket. Everybody's criticizing the cricket, criticizing the BCA, criticizing the game that made us great. And one of the things I say to them every time is, show me how many footballers, how many basketballers, you name it, netballers. When you look at it, Noel said we had 98. We got 102. Sorry, Noel. Is that more than 102? But, you know, I'm not knocking all the other sports. And cricket is a honorable game. It has made me the kind of person that I am today. I've traveled the world. I still do it very quietly. I still go and I still enjoy life, and I've made a lot of friends from cricket, not only on the cricket field, but off the cricket field. I would like to encourage all the young people in the primary schools, or all the parents over there, to encourage the kids to keep playing cricket. I wanted to be like Sigari. I happened to play against him when I was about 22 years old. And he looked at me and he says, you see that thing that you bowl and they lick it out of the ground? And I laughed and I said, you're going to get your chance. And I did play against him and he was looking to lick it out the ground and I bowled him 6 Yorkers and he said, you wicked little young fella. That is just how we are. That's how. And let me say something to you. Besides all the talk that you got going around and all of this, when it comes to cricket, cricketers from different generations, when we get together, we are the best of friends. And what they say to you, we don't tell each other lies, we just speak to the truth to one another. This fellow here said he scored 2 centuries against Academia, Oxford University and Foundation. I don't know. It is true, he scored 140 against Foundation. So there's a little truth to it. But I said to him afterwards, you know that you're going to lose the game. And he said to me, you lose the game? I scored 148. We gave them 75 to win and bowled them up for 48. But besides the jokes and all that, look, I say to people, if you have a job and you don't enjoy the job you're doing, you look for another job. Cricket is not only a job. I got paid for having fun. I got paid for enjoying myself. I don't think that I have any bad memories of cricket or anything bad to say about cricket. And when I sit down, and I've been blessed to be in the presence of Sir Gary, Sir Wes, Sir Everton, God bless his soul, and all the cricketing greats. And if you sit down and you listen to these stories, you would want to play cricket, you would want to represent your country, you would want to become great. Let me say to you, encourage the youngsters to play the sport. It is the cricket that made us great. It is cricket that has brought us all of this. And I don't mind how we get criticized. The criticism, it comes with part of the job. But I'm not going to be negative today. All I'm going to say to you is we've had a good 6 months, Noel. We were together for 6 months, trying to put together everything together, trying to ensure that when people come to Barbados, they will see what Barbadians are and what they're made of and what they have to offer. And, you know, I would hope that we continue to show the rest of the world how great we are. Thank you.
Give the big bird a round of applause, man. Sound good. Before we bring the next speaker, the person you really came here to hear, just let me tell you one thing. On the tourism side of this World Cup, we've got more airlift in Barbados than we've ever had at any time in our history, and that we will ever have during the month of December to April. All the planes coming into Barbados in June are full. All the planes coming into Barbados are full. I want to thank, I ain't see the Minister of Tourism here, but the Minister of Tourism and the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc. personnel have done a fantastic job. Give them a round of applause. Big job. Then, the hotels were saying up to about a month ago that they were only 50% full. When we got the numbers yesterday, they were 85% full, and they said they're going to be full all during the month of June. And that ain't got nothing to do with Airbnb and all them kind of people. So Barbados is going to be full for the World Cup, and we can show all of the world what we can do. Imagine, was this 900 and something million people watching the World Cup? And all of them are going to be focused on the home of the finals, Barbados. Every one of them. Now, the next person that you will hear is this. My team will tell you every week, every Tuesday, we keep a National Organizing Committee meeting. And then we speak to Cricket World Cup. We speak to CWI, Cricket West Indies, and to ICC. When we spoke to them yesterday, one of the officials that was on, he said, listen, I am in Antigua, and what used to be a 6-minute commute for me, has now turned into a 30-minute commute. And I said, but why is that? Because of the SIDS conference? He says, no, that's not what it is about. It's because Mia Motley is in Antigua. And then this is what he said. He said this. I said, you know the Prime Minister? He said, I've never met her, but let me tell you this, right? I have a framed photograph in my office. Van Gordon then can vouch for me, of me and Motley. And I said, but why would you do that? He says, because she is the single greatest woman of Caribbean woman of our generation. That's what he said. Right, Van Gordon? That's what he said. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, all this lot of introduction, she needs no introduction. This man says, the single greatest Caribbean woman of our generation, our Prime Minister, Mia Amor Motley.
I don't want you to take Noah Lynch serious on a number of things, including his last few minutes. I feel like crying. And there's a reason for it. 6 years ago, last Saturday, I was sworn in as Prime Minister of Barbados. And I left Government House, as it then was, and went with Dale Marshall to government headquarters. And Conde, where are you? You will recall that you warned me that there might have been something on my desk I would not have known because I'd never been in the office, having been sworn in. And true enough, there was something on my desk. And it was a request for Barbados to determine whether it would be prepared to play its part, as Charles would tell you, in having the West Indies play England at Kensington in 2019. I didn't need to think twice because I understood that the people that raised me and that the people that built this country from independence took on the world at the same time that it set out on the journey to become an independent nation. So Gary, so Wes, so Charles, who is not here and couldn't be here with us, so Gordon and Desmond came after. But the three of you and David Holford and all of the rest who played in those early days as we became an independent nation set the standard for us and set the standard for who we would become as a nation. So that when I tell people that within the boundaries of Greater Bridgetown, we have produced two global icons. Sir Gary Sobers in the Baylan, who to this day remains, I don't like this phrase GOAT, but anyhow that's what is used, the greatest of all time. And Rihanna, who, if you had a good arm, you could throw a ball by her house from here. And it isn't by accident, because Sir Gary, I believe that you helped lay that foundation along with the three W's, along with Sir Wes, Sir Charles, because people still don't understand how 166 square miles could produce global titans like we have produced. So I didn't think twice about signing the document as my first act as Prime Minister to be able to ensure that those who taught us the game would be able to come here. And at the end of my speech, we will all reflect what happened in 2019 with England. But the energy here is palpable this afternoon. And it is palpable because I think amidst everything that is going on in the world, we want to be able to have normal service resume. And we want to be able to show our pride in things that are uniquely Barbadian. And you can't get more Bajan than the Mecca, than Kensington Oval. And we have taken time to be able to fix it up. I would have much rather that we could do that from as far back as 2018-19. But you and I know, drunk or sober, mind your business and do what you got to do. The first job was to fix the debt. The second job, when we thought the debt was over and we were getting ready to come down to Kensington and all over the country to do what we had to do, and boops, what happened? COVID. And 3 years after, COVID come and gone. I want you to know that World Cup isn't here by accident. We set out to go for the World Cup bid. And Minister Griffith, Charles Griffith, I want you to stand and your ministry and to thank you for you, Vancourt Rouse, all of the rest of the team. Vancourt, where are you? All of the rest of your team, please stand. We did not get here by accident. We set out to achieve this. And there's a message in it too. Because Vancourt, you were there in 2007 along with the others. And the message is that we will always carry from the best in the past and add to the best in the present to make the best in the future. And that is who we are as Bajans. So that when the news first came in, and it was a difficult moment, because the news first came to me quietly in August, and I was sworn to secrecy that we couldn't say anything about the fact that we were likely to get the media center for the whole tournament, but we still didn't know what games we would get and how we would get. But we were spending in the investment, in the belief that when Bajans put their minds to it, we may not always win, but we're going to certainly do our best to be able to win. And eventually, we kept asking, and every week I would turn to Charles in cabinet and say, Charles, you ain't hearing nothing yet? Charles, you ain't hearing nothing yet? How these people expect us to fix this ground? Because we got to fix it up. We got to get the financing in place. September come, October come, nothing. November come. I said, wait, independence can come and go and still don't tell us nothing? True enough, they didn't. And when we heard was what? End of November, early December, somewhere around then? First week in December. So that to stand up here before the 1st of June and to see all that has been done is truly, truly a moment of great pride for me as leader of this nation. I'm not going to wait to the end of my speech to thank people. I called the chairman of COMI, Damien Gaskin, who has done a phenomenal job chairing this entity, not just getting Kensington right, but chairing the entity and taking it out of the debt that it was in from day one. I called Stuart Lane from the Barbados Tourism Investment Inc., who then ensured that they entered an agreement with COMI, because COMI is not that kind of entity that can on its own take on these projects. And I therefore thank Mr. Lane and the BTII and its board. And then, obviously, Ray, you stood up and we thanked you for being the project manager. All of these things didn't happen by accident. And the hours that they put in have allowed us to have the extreme pride that we have here this evening as Barbadians. And then around November, I said, as we were getting ready and we realized that somebody in this short space of time needed to pull together all of the strands. Because as we will soon remember, hosting Cricket World Cup, as CLR James would tell us all the time, is not only about being in the oval, but it is also about beyond the boundary. And therefore, when I went up to Washington on official business, I spoke to Noah Lynch and told him, Skipper, you have to come home. I think he may have thought it was for discipline. But it was actually to be able to pull this together. Because I knew that if there was one person who could strand it from tourism to sports, from public sector to private sector, and who had the capacity to be able still to relate to Bajans at all levels, Noel could do it. And Noel, we thank you on behalf of the country for so working with your team and allowing us to be here. Every 2 weeks, he would come and brief cabinet, so that cabinet understood every step of the way what was happening and to remove all obstacles along the way. But I also want to thank the Attorney General, who is not here, but who is on duty business, but who also took the responsibility of doing what I had to do the last time around in 2006-07, and that was to pull the defense and security issues, not just for Barbados, but for the entire region for the hosting of this World Cup. Dale Marshall, in your absence, I want to thank you for ensuring that we got to this point. And I want to thank the members of Cabinet. Santia from the roads and the drains, Wilfred from making sure the Immigration Department and yourself, and Customs, Ryan, all of the different entities that have to come together. Because you don't just get, how many thousand come in? 30,000 people coming in a month just so. And you just let them come in without properly coordinating every step of the way. But that is government. But you and I know that for all of this, it is so much more too. We get it, that when people walk in here, the buzz in Kensington is what made the Mecca. Not only the cricketers, as great as they all were, and I've acknowledged that. Not only the groundsmen, and we know that you deserve all the honors as groundsmen, because when we saw this ground in December, it was a far cry from the bed that we now see out there. And it is like a bed, trust me. But it's not only all of us who worked within Kensington. It is the Bajans that come into Kensington and swear by it and that make it what it is. It is the not man, it is the flag man. And God, I bless Ling Pong. I know he here in spirit. And his daughter here in real, even though he not with us in real. That is what makes Kensington. The ability to recall from the days of King Dial, coming right through now to Mac Fingal. This is what makes Kensington. Bajans, don't get tied up. Don't get tied up. Gearbox too. And I can tell you, because from 5, 6 years old, I had the honor of being brought into Kensington. And from about 9 and 10, I would stand up in front of the pavilion and we would wait for the cricketers to come off at lunch or tea and beg for an autograph. And that's why I don't stop nobody who asks for a photo today, because I remember what it was to beg for autographs from great cricketers. From Imran Khan and Majid Khan and Zaire Basta, Pakistani tour. Big Bird, you should remember, because that's when I first recalled you. And we could not believe how tall you were, because to us as little children, who was this giant? Who was this giant? You know? I can't go back, and I make the point that when Lawrence Rowe, I knew it was a Sunday afternoon, because we were living in Tudor Bridge right there, and we were outside playing, and my mother made us come inside to be able to watch the TV after tea, to watch Lawrence Rowe when he made the 302 here at Kensington. So cricket is who we are. And to see now that it has also gone in the sense of accomplishment. Where is Haley Matthews? Haley, you walked in with me today and some of the other ladies. The fact that you are now a judge, the best female cricketer in the world, T20, you don't know what that did to us and continues to do for us. These are the things that make life worth living. Beyond work, beyond praising our God, beyond the other things, these are the things that give us the exhilaration and the pride to be Bajan and to be West Indian. So I say that, conscious that the memories, and I can't forget before I move on, and part of me sometimes still has the nostalgia for the old stands, because the old stands had a close-up. And we talk about the crawling under and the seeing under, but that's a different story. But how many of you were here the morning when Michael Holden was bowling Jeffrey Boycott? There got a lot of young people in here. Oh, I feeling very old. It was palpable And those who came late that morning promised that they would never come late to a cricket match at Kensington again when the West Indies had them fast ballers. Big Bird, am I lying? You could cut the energy inside Kensington with a knife. And every ball you thought that the wicket was going to go. And it was shh, shh, shh. And it was the fifth ball or the sixth ball that it went, number 5, 6. And then the same thing happened in the second innings again, didn't it? You understand? Second innings again. And those are the memories that make this Mecca special. But memories must also be made by the current generation. And that is why we have determined that those of you who now carry the flag for the West Indies, those of you in the maroon, that we will continue to lift you up. Because we know that every day may not be sunny, but we know that hope lives eternal in our heart, and that with discipline and hope and commitment to excellence, as we saw in the last week in Jamaica, West Indies can make it over and over and over again. But that's one part of the equation. As I said, CLR James taught us many years ago about going beyond the boundary. And what do I mean by that? Ms. Robinson, from the time the people land at the airport, the immigration officers, the red caps, the customs officers, the taxi drivers, when they go to the hotel, the waiters and the waitresses, and the people who help to clean the hotel, the people who welcome people, all of Barbados must now be the welcoming party. And we know how to do it. So Wes, you used to be a minister of tourism, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. That is why this country has the highest repeat factor visitor in the region without us having to advertise. You see the BTMI and the BTA as it used to be, telling people this is a 25th anniversary, a 50th anniversary. All of these things, Noel and Sir Wes, and now Ian, all of them preside over. And the Lord said, let there be light. The lights. You know, the one sure thing you would have known is that if we ended 2007 with lights being an issue, 2024 could not have lights being an issue ever again in this country. Never again. But the point is that all of us have to play our role in welcoming people. And this is one family, and I want all of us to remember that. Bajans, people come back because we don't have a lot, but we have spirit. And we have the ability to make people feel welcome and warm in a sincere and authentic way. And that's all I'm asking us to do in the next month. The world will be visiting us. And when the world visits us, we will be on our best behavior, but we will be genuinely Bajan. You know why I love Rihanna? Because Rihanna ain't a freshwater Yankee. Rihanna keeps it real. She talks just like if she's still in Westbury. And secondly, when she went, people talk about the music that she do, but it ain't the music that make her great alone. Rihanna's success in business, and I want you to imbibe this and keep it in there. Rihanna opened a makeup company. And Rihanna said, you see all them other companies, Elizabeth Arden and all them that was only making makeup for people of a certain hue? I'm making makeup for every color under the earth that a human being look like. Because that's the Bajan way. We don't leave out nobody. And then when she decided that she could move from that and open a lingerie company, what did she do? She make lingerie for every size, from my size to the West Santia size, to the ones that got other sizes, all kind of sizes. You can laugh because you ain't gonna see it. but I know this, that she exploded the market. And all like Victoria's Secret and all of those had to go running because Rihanna saw people and felt them and gave them an opportunity to be able to feel good about themselves. That is the Bajan way.
Surely people, a lady could walk around and looking beautiful when she having a child. So she decided to go a little,
A little risque. So Wes is telling you his eyes are still very good. So Gary, you hear that?
Don't try to get it right. But I think with Wes around, you got it right.
So, coming back to it, we are one people, and we are going to welcome the world in the only way that we know how to welcome it as Bajans. And that is all I ask us to do. 4 weeks, when I was being raised, my mother would tell us sometime, when you invite people and you ain't sure you got enough food at home, she would tell FSB. So people would look and say, what code she giving you all? You know what FSB mean? Family stand back. You understand? Because what do you do first when you have guests? We got the vibe. And that's exactly what we want to do. Now, there are some people who are concerned. And I've listened, as we listen all the time. Because life is not always perfect, and we don't always make 100% because we're not divine. We aspire to be perfect, but we don't always get there. And what we have done, I believe, is credible. But I want us to focus on the bigger picture, because some of what motivated us to host these games here is not only I know I don't want the vibe, but it can come Sunday. It's not only actually the fact that we can host Cricket World Cup, but Barbados is open for business again. And we have to send a message that we are open for business. And we felt as a government the best way to do it would be to host a global event. We were hopeful and it happened. We worked towards it and it happened. That this country, on 3 occasions now, can host the 3rd largest global sporting event in cricket is an amazing, amazing, amazing achievement. And we should feel proud, but we can only continue to do it if we do this well, and we keep doing it well. There are those who say, but what are you going to get back out of it? Well, let's start. On the way here, I checked again. What is the price, anybody, for advertising 1 minute in Super Bowl in the US on the networks? Anybody? A 60-second ad. $7 million. Google it, Colville. Google it. $7 million for a minute to advertise your product. Well, we are going to have 8 games here. And in those 8 games at 3.5 hours, it's going to be beamed all over the world. And in every minute, they're seeing what? Kensington Oval. In between the overs, they're going to show you shots of the ocean. They're going to show you shots going back across the town. They're going to show you other shots of Barbados. Because that is the nature that you will see, just like you're seeing there on that screen now. Thank you, Wilfred. So that we will more than get back our money. And I am told that the audience, television audience, is 60 million plus, and we haven't even counted in North America as yet. So that, believe you me, this investment is to also send a message that the next time West Indies playing cricket in the West Indies, come to Kensington. That the next time you hear that they got some other multi-sporting event, because thanks to the job that the others have done at Comey, this will now become a multi-sports facility and not just for cricket alone. And let me tell you, to tell he who feels it knows it, Santi, you had a team in my tournament. When we couldn't get the stadium, you won it the first year. When we couldn't get the stadium anymore, we had to bring football down here. You know how much we had to pay every night for the lights? Anybody? And I'm talking about almost 10 years ago. $4,500 every night, or $4,900 every night in diesel to power the old lights. So when I tell you that we are investing, because they got youngsters across St. Michael, youngsters in St. John, St. James, other people who want to put on things, but they may not have the liquidity to do so. So government's responsibility is to create the environment and the facilities that people can come forward now and do things just like the Legends want to do with their under-23 tournament. Just like Charles is trying to do with Courtney and Jamal with the T20 block tournament. Just as we're trying to do with the Prime Minister's challenge with respect to football. So that, believe you me, we are spending the money to allow you to be able to use these facilities. I want to repeat myself. When we spend the money at Oystins, it is to be able to allow people to spend a little longer than they would otherwise, because they feel comfortable using the bathrooms again. They feel comfortable. Get tired. People just go home to use the bathroom if the bathroom ain't clean, or if the bathroom don't look a certain way. So that the vendors will get an extra 4 or 6 beers bought by a person, or an extra food bought. These are the things we're now trying to do the same thing here in Baxter's Road and Westbury Road with the mall, trying to make sure that we won't finish all in time, but we will at least, William, get the car park paved, and then we go back and do the bathrooms after. But that is why that is being done. We've done the same thing in Fairchild Street. First order of business. We came in and put new stores. All the years I live in Barbados, Fairchild Street was an old, dark, dismal market with galvanized. Look at it now. And the butcher's block is now finished. I ain't even worried with a groundbreaking ceremony or opening ceremony, because we just wanted to get the people in there. Okay? We've done it with Golden Square. We've done it with the monument in town. And we are doing it now with Temple Yard. God bless, to be able to allow them also to be not only there for themselves, but to be able to bring people to buy their artwork and their craft when they come in to visit Barbados. My friends, our duty as a government is to create the platform for you to go and risk your money. When tourists come here, you want them to do what? To spend. And when they spend, it is then supporting your families. But it means going outside of your familiar, your comfort levels, and creating the opportunities. And that is why, Flagman, you don't got to worry, because you do it every day at every event. You understand? And that is the reason we are doing this. I also want to say to you that life is nothing if you don't dream. So Wes, so Gary, Bird, the Legends didn't get to make money when you all played. And I feel we have a responsibility to help you make money for yourselves and those who come after. There is no reason for the government to have a warehouse on the water opposite. I have said so over and over. We have a brand called the Legends, and the Legends should be able to have their name attached to the thing for which we are known most in the world economically, tourism. And if we have a hotel called the Legends, that is not only the Legends at Barbados, the Legends in Antigua, the Legends in Grenada, the Legends in St. Lucia, the Legends in St. Vincent, the Legends. So you have a regional brand, no different from Sandals, no different from the other regional brands and the ones that come from outside, but a homegrown brand. You look at the menus are in the shape of a cricket bat. You'll have all of the pictures and everything in there. Can you imagine if you have a Legends Hotel next to Kensington, obliquely opposite, on the water, and next to the Legends right there at Herbert House? All of a sudden, you are monetizing and creating opportunities. So Gary, so Wes, Bird, for all of you, making sure that we don't only thank you for what you have done, but that you have a capacity to earn royalties from the work and the glory that you brought to this game and to this country and to this region. So I issue a challenge now, and a formal RFP will go out later this year at the direction of the Senior Minister for Infrastructure, that we want to turn that site and the land that we own opposite, it may mean a slight diversion of the road, but that we want to turn that into a money-making machine for those who continue to bring glory to this country in cricket as legends. And I say that the reason why we are doing all of this and investing in the inside auditorium with the latest technology is because I know that the one thing that has been missing in West Indies cricket has been the embracing of technology. Let me remind you, do you believe that Europe conquered Africa without technology? Could never. They conquered Africa because they had gunpowder and they had other aspects that they could use to exercise their domination. How do we believe that we can let other cricketing nations across the world use the most modern technology and our boys and girls, men and women are deprived of it? Well, we have said as a nation that we know that beyond those who will play BCL and BCA cricket, that we can create an export market of an ecosystem of not just cricketers, umpires, groundsmen, scorers, match referees, cameramen, all of the things necessary to host a successful cricket game. Barbados can produce all of them, and there are already, a number of them are already playing professional cricket in Australia, in North America, in England. We want more and we can push more. You know why? Because if they are excellent or they are very good, people will not ask them about no work permit or where they're coming to, because they're going to want to snap them up. You saw what happened with Jofra Archer. So believe you me, our duty is to create the ecosystem. So my friends, I'm going to pause here and invite comments from you. I will only say, I told you at the beginning, that I had an instinct on the 25th of May 2018 to sign that support to allow Barbados to be able to have England play at the Mecca in 2019. And you know what happened for those who have short memories? West Indies beat England in 3 days. Not 5, not 4, but 3 days. I have a feeling in my belly again. And the feeling in the belly is that when we get here on the 29th, I don't know who the 22 players will be. I can wish. But I feel in my belly that I might be wishing the right thing that I will keep to myself. I'm not going to tell you, because if I tell you, I might get jinx. So I'm keeping it to myself, Wes. But suffice it to say, whoever the 22 players are, we will host them, and we will host them with pride in the way that Barbadians have always known how to do. It is not only about how many people come in the stadium, although I have every confidence that the seats can be packed out. And there are already people telling me that they're coming to Barbados for the vibe of the last weekend. Because it's not only in Kensington, but you have the fan zones all about the country. And people just want to be in the place where the fun zones, where the excitement is going to be palpable. And therefore, prepare for the month of June. Let us recognize that when we finish this, however, it's not over, because the half century will be coming. And what is the half century? I can't hear you. The half century is crop over. And when we finish this year, what will we be doing in 2025? We're gathering. And in the middle of 2025, as we gather, we will also host the entire Caribbean here for Carifesta, when the whole country will become a platform from St. Lucie to St. Philip and Christchurch, from St. John to St. James, across all of the rest of parishes. We will give Bajans the opportunity to see from food to fashion to music to dance to art to creative, and most of all, to discuss the Caribbean civilization. My friends, when I say to you Barbados is back, I mean Barbados is back, and a buzz, and all of the things. You sound like alliteration. Barbados, a back, buzz, be. I'm not saying anymore. Go on. We are open for any questions from you. There are 2 roving mics. Any comments or questions, we will now take. Noel, thank you. Over to you.
It's your time. It's your time. Ready, mics. Ready, mics. Gentleman here, look. He coming with you. He coming with you. Come on, flag man, come.
Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody know me as the flag man, the horn man. I make things happen in Barbados because my job is to take care of the people, right? And the 2 things I have to say to the crowd this evening is one about cricket. The Prime Minister showed me about 1 or 2 things. But I'm not really pleased with crop over due to the fact what they did with Bridgetown Market. Bridgetown Market is one of the 4 days we make that money, right? And to take it into Broad Street, I was with crop over for 50 years. This is my 50th year of crop over. I was with crop over from a child in Broad Street. We moved to Princess Alice Highway, then we moved to Spring Garden. Now taking crop over and bringing Bridgetown Market into Bridgetown, I find it's a waste of time. The reason why I say that there is due to the fact that everybody know on nights, anything we host in Bridgetown, it do not last till 11 o'clock. Now we have to look at the police and the traffic where these events are usually taking part. And we don't have no part to park these vehicles in Bridgetown for this crop over. I feel that the Prime Minister should take the Bridgetown Market back to Spring Garden because the reason why people come into town to buy things to come. People come into town to support the people. First thing, we give the government that VAT money to help the government with the country. Those people come to town, then come to Bridgetown Market to support the vendors. You understand my meaning? It's over 500 vendors in Bridgetown Market. I do not see no way they can hold in those 4 spots.
I hear you, flag man. Your view is one. They got others out there, but we can see how best we can make it work. Trust me.
Good evening. Can you hear me? Okay, I am speaking on behalf of a select few Barbadians. Now, I must say this is money well spent. But I have a major issue forever with this country. It does not matter which government is in place. Barbados belongs to Barbadians. The other day I had to say, we have become an alphabet state where we're speaking about B and D. But everybody knows that the alphabet has 26 letters, so we can go north or south, doesn't matter. My main point I want to drive home is this. The maintenance of any infrastructure, whether it is loan, funding, wherever the money comes from, somebody has to pull their pocket. Somebody has to repay the loan. My argument is this, and it will stand. We spend X amount of millions, money well spent, but I am sure we will not spend 50 million to keep up the good appearances, keep the streets clean, the potholes, the lack of maintenance in the country. In certain parts of Barbados, it looks as if,
Let the lady speak.
No.
Hello. Hello. Let her speak. She is speaking sense. And we are trying to change the culture to be able to get better maintenance across all public and private facilities. So please let her speak. Thank you.
My take is this. Right now, Barbados is the focal point of the sporting world. We fix roads and we do that, and it should be on a continuous basis. Thank God for World Cup. It has shown us we are capable. Give it to a Barbadian, they can get it done. Barbadians don't lag, they step up. We stepped up. There are a lot of people in the Caribbean that could not pull this not in 6 months. I don't even think they could have put it in 6 years. So what I am saying, good. So we did the roads and everything is nice. What I would love to do, because when I leave Barbados, I am promoting. I am only saying I am from Barbados and everybody wants to come here. I met a company the other day. They want to come and see the Prime Minister. I don't know how I will do that. Miss Motley, you are it for a lot of persons. So what I am saying, I'm very proud. We having cricket. My main focal point, they will come here and they have to spend. They have to spend, they have to eat, they have to drink, and they have to sleep somewhere. So praise God, some money will be left in the coffers. But I will part by saying this. Maintain the country. Keep it beautiful, because I am out there promoting and you come in and it is not really to the standard that I am trying to set in people's minds.
Hello. Thank you very much, madam. And let me use this opportunity. Some of you may forget that 5 years ago on Independence Day, I spoke here. And I spoke in similar terms to that lady in terms of cleaning up and cleaning around us. When we were growing up, you didn't have to tell anybody clean around their house. You understand? If all of us do it, Bajans have a saying, one blow is kill old cow. 1 + 1 + 1 + 1. Now, madam, I heard you clearly, and with respect to the maintenance, William Duguid and the others will tell you that we are now about to do 2 major maintenance frameworks. National Housing will take up maintenance for the residential aspects and for those buildings that don't have complex mechanical and engineering systems, and similarly, that will not be multi-story. We are going to have to outsource the high-rise buildings and the complex MEP buildings. And we have Mr. Best here and Minister Duguid, who are the ones now helping to put that in place with Minister Sutherland for me. So you're absolutely correct. The others here also know that what we inherited, where no maintenance was done at Kensington for years, can't happen again. And for you who wonder why we waited until last year to start the roads, it's as simple. The first 19 months we spent in debt restructuring, so we had no money to do nothing. Break. The next 3 years was what? And we had to take up the money and spend in what? Hospital, Harrison's Point, and all of the things, put in money for self-employed businesses, putting back over 200 million in NIS, all of those things. Plus, we were collecting $500 to $600 million less than we would normally collect because there was no tourists coming in the country. So as soon as we had the ability, because remember, we did do some roads in 2018 and 19. We just couldn't do as much as we liked because we didn't have the money then. So that last year when we were ready to start, boom, September, October, November, what happened? Rain, rain, rain. December. And that is why from January, you have seen the roads that can be done that don't need serious restructuring, not restructuring, rebuilding, because you don't have to take out the water mains or you don't have to take out other things for the most part. There have even been 1 or 2 roads where we paved where the pressure from the equipment led to 1 or 2 water mains being broken. But we get it, and it is a work in progress. So I thank you for raising it and putting it in the consciousness of not just government, but every Barbadian. You heard Damien say it earlier, if you have a house and you don't maintain it, what's happened? It's fall down. If you don't paint it regular, the board is do what? Rot. You understand? And if you don't clean off the walls, it's get what? Mold. So we understand the game. Thank you. But it means everybody. And you know that's why when the legislation come to make people keep the lots clean, I don't want to hear nobody quarreling, because we're going to make Barbados clean and green for us all. Thank you.
Hello, pleasant good night to all. I'm really impressed to see the big crowd here at Kensington Oval. It means that we are very proud of our country, Barbados, and excited about having the World Cup being hosted. Well, I love my Prime Minister, the Honorable Mia Motley, very much. She's very, very much well and appreciated all over the world. What I want to say is I can remember years ago, well, when young people heard about the politicians, they used to always have a negative word to say. But our Prime Minister, during that time, she went to Jamaica and she received a well-standing applause. So I'm very sure that our Honorable Prime Minister is very instrumental to politicians being accepted among the young, being loved, and given a listening ear. I'm also very sure, I'm very proud that the Honorable Prime Minister and her administration is doing a very good job to this country, and we love them very much, and we're going to have them for a long, long, long time, many years.
Thank you, my dear.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much to the Honorable Louis Lynch. I worked for him many years during his termship as a minister in this country. We are good friends. and thanks very much to all those who worked very, very hard. As I walked, well, I felt so tired, so it was stood out to me the hard work that these people had to do to make Kensington over what it is. Love you all, and we're going to have a good World Cup here in Barbados. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear. Who's next? Yes, ma'am.
Hello, Prime Minister Mia Motley. It is an honor and a privilege to stay here and see you face to face. I'm from Jamaica. You just visited our beautiful country. Sorry we're not going to have any games there. I need a ticket, right? I need a ticket as well. But, glad that you're going to be benefiting from the games here and everything, and you're doing a fantastic work. And we love you in Jamaica. We admire, we love you. We love you, yes. So I'm here to express that on our behalf. So bless you, Prime Minister. Thank you.
Bless you too, madam. And thank you for allowing, you said you had no games, but the truth is you hosted the 3 prep games with South Africa and it went better than all of us could imagine. So thank you.
Hello. Ladies and gentlemen, we are streaming this event live. So when someone is talking on the mic, please keep the noise level down because the people at home can't hear them. Please. Who's next?
Good
Who's
evening.
next?
Good evening, Madam Prime Minister and all those involved. I just want to say that it was an excellent job done here, magnificent job done here at Kensington. My one complaint is that I have noticed, and you will note that I'm walking with a cane. So I realized that there is not much in the way of access for the disabled. And case in point, I noted the difficulty that it took for Sir Wes to come into the facility. So I think that, when we're looking at phase 2, something needs to be put in place for those persons who are disabled.
I'm going to ask Damien to respond. Thank you.
Hello? Yeah, thanks for the comment. I think that's also quite fair. There are, just to give some information or some context though, there are
Please,
approximately...
hold on, Damien. Please, the others at the back. Ryan, thank you.
Yeah,
You
so-
want to know how I know he was talking?
Yeah, there are approximately 50 disability spaces throughout Kensington Oval. There are parts of it, like coming down here, which may be a struggle, yes, but there's a lift. The lift can take you to every floor, and generally when Suez comes, he's not normally located in this specific position. So, can a disabled person go to every single spot in the Oval? No. Can we do better? Yes. But there are elevators in the 3Ws, too. There are elevators in Greenwich and Haynes. And there is disability access also in Hewitt and Innes. There's only one stand that doesn't have any disability access, and that's the Hall and Griffith. But every other stand has disability access in the Oval, and we're going to work to improve that.
And we will make sure that all stands with the Hall and Griffith will be extended. The only one I can't promise you is over there, for obvious reasons. Thank you. Who's next? Yes, sir.
Hi, good evening, Madam PM, and good evening to the Deputy PM as well. I just have two things to say. First of all, it looks good. I want to know from you, Madam PM, what is your immediate plans, or what will be the plans to endorse and expand local cricket? And also, I would suggest to you, in the grandstand, we've been walking up there this evening, and in case of rain, and it's very high, and some parts of it is very slidey, that I would suggest to those that are dealing with that they put up some kind of signage telling people to be very careful, especially, if the Barmy Army, they like to drink and what have
true.
you.
Thank you very much for that advice. With respect to cricket, I think you started to hear Jamal speak about it earlier, and Mr. Garner. The truth is that we are investing heavily, and I'm not making any bones about it. Sportsmen and artists are global citizens. They will go all over the world, and nobody's going to ask you for a work permit. Joel, anybody ask you for a work permit? So where's anybody ask you for a work permit? So long as you receive a certain level of aptitude, people will welcome you. And that is why we want to invest. You heard Jamal speak about the fact that we're using the Block T20 tournament almost as a tournament to try and find talent. Not that we expect that everybody in that tournament will reach the highest levels, but as the cricketers who know cricket see who are playing, they're then in a position to go and talk to those youngsters and to say to them, look, you really need to study and see whether you want to take this cricket seriously, and let us put you into a training program. We want to be able to make sure at the primary level that we continue also with what we're doing. And my real hope is for BCL to be able to be dominant in this country again. Because BCL is not only about cricket, BCL is about teaching boys and girls to become men and women. And the people who play with them on the team, the people who are the groundsmen, the people who work in the clubs are the ones who then give those youngsters that may be going a little off track the ability to come back on track and to give them the guidance and the support that they might otherwise have. And I'll leave you with this as it relates to that. How many of you think that Usain Bolt could have been the fastest runner in the world if he was drinking and smoking? Not possible. How many of you think that our great athletes could get where they were if their lungs were impaired? Not possible. So when I say to you that having community sports, whether it is cricket, football, netball, road tennis, the only one that won't give you the same opportunity is motorsports, but the Bajans love that bad. And the ones that I want not yet dominated is the ones in the ocean. Because really and truly, as an island, we should have the best swimmers. We should have the best sailors. We should have the best water polo people. We should have everything that can be done in the ocean. we should be dominating. And that's the next frontier after we get through the ones that we want to do this year. I've announced initiatives for motorsports, where all of the motorsports leagues can now race at Bushy Park, and we've made that arrangement for them. We've announced initiatives for football, and I got only today the proposal for the Prime Minister's Challenge, which will have $100,000 as the prize. For those of you in cricket, I would love to do the same in cricket, but I don't know how to navigate that with Cricket West Indies and the rest. So I leave it to you to come back to me. Maybe it is the Legends Tournament, Bird, that we can do that with. And then road tennis, we are also creating that environment in road tennis as well. And then the netball stadium should start. It started already? Lord bless you. So that the netball stadium becomes a multi-purpose stadium. As you know, that will allow us to be able to have netball, volleyball, badminton, and it will have a sprung wooden floor so that our athletes will not mash up their knees in the same way that they would have been mashed up playing on the hard concrete before. When we get past this first set of sports, I want us to invest heavily in our children mastering the ocean and mastering the sea. And if we do that, then I'm satisfied that we will continue to export not just cricketers, but a whole range of sportsmen. I've come to athletics last because this man here going to keep us on our toes always. The National Stadium will be built, as we know, and we've gone through the planning process. We know that there's a grant from the Chinese, and the government of Barbados has also added now that to expand the capacity, we will build another set of stands on the other side of the stadium so that we will have total capacity rounding the whole National Stadium to be able to allow us to seat 20,000 people when it is finished. We have committed to also put in tracks in the south of the island and in the north of the island. And I hope that within the next 12 months, those tracks will be laid down by the Ministry of Sports and the Sports Council. We already have one laid at the gymnasium that is being finished up now, so that, trust me, I see and hear our young people. I understand the creativity. I understand the talent. And what they want is opportunity. This government will work to give them opportunity so that they can become global citizens and Bajan representatives and artists and roots. Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Prime Minister. I want to say thank you to everyone involved to making this possible. Now, we all say our kids are the future, and I just have one concern. Now, some of the students from the secondary and primary schools were chosen for the anthem ceremony. If there's someone here that can answer, please do. I know most parents whose children are involved, me being one of them, we just need some answers as to what is going on.
Vancourt, are you in a position to respond, or she can come and see you? Sorry? She can come and see you now? Madam, if you go to Mr. Rouse, he will be able to answer you. Okay? Thank you very much. Anyone else?
Pleasant good night, Honorable Prime Minister. Good night to everyone else. I'm extremely pleased of what I'm seeing here tonight, and I do hope and pray that it all works out for the better of our country on behalf of all of us. But Madam Prime Minister, I have an issue. I have noticed that whenever there are big events, national events, is that no provision is made for ground transportation like taxi operators. Having looked at the schedule for the environment when matches are being played, what I am seeing is that I am seeing that there's to be no parking. You must drop off and keep moving. I'm wondering if this is a disadvantage to us as taxi operators. So I'm asking Madam Prime Minister if at this time there's any plans that a section be put forward or put aside to accommodate those persons or taxi operators who are not involved in direct work with the organization. There are people who have taxis, but they're not confined or have any sort of arrangements. So I'm asking if there is in the environment, if there is any provision made to accommodate taxi operators when there's cricket being played. That is my question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think that I will ask the Deputy Prime Minister to meet with the taxi body as a whole. But let me say this, that if you are making money, then you will be dropping off and going for the next people and coming back and dropping off and coming back and dropping off. Part of the difficulty that we have where Kensington is located is that you would know that there's not a lot of parking here. And therefore, the government is seeking to create park and ride because we can't accommodate everybody who would want to come to Kensington in cars. So I would ask you to make your representations to the Deputy Prime Minister, who is Minister of Transport, and we can factor that in to what we are doing. But I also want us to know that we have houses there, we have buildings there, we have the highway which has to remain open in the event of emergency. So it's going to be difficult for us to find parking in the immediate environs of Kensington, but we are trying to use other locations. One of the things that the government is exploring as well is a multi-story car park that we want to build in Waterford that will be able to service the National Stadium, the Botanical Gardens, the Kensington Oval, Bridgetown, all of those, because the truth is, and let me talk straight, when I came to public life 30 years ago, when it was 35 years ago, Barbados had about 75,000 cars. Barbados now has 130,000 cars. And that is what we're up against as a challenge. So I don't want to dismiss what you are saying, but equally, I want you to meet with the Deputy Prime Minister and understand that this is not a greenfield site. This is an oval in the middle of a residential neighborhood and a commercial neighborhood. And therefore, there are limited opportunities for parking.
Yes, ma'am. Madam,
Okay.
thank you very much. But how do we get in touch with the...
Right here, she's right here.
I know.
She
but
can see you. Before you leave, brethren, trust me. You understand? Just come right here and we'll get the numbers. And they're formal taxi bodies too, so you need to just liaise with them and she'll invite them as well. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Blessed good evening, Prime Minister. Blessed good evening to everyone here. I would like to say a vote of thanks for the people who are here that employed. Ma'am, a lot of people get work cleaning the streets. A lot of people get work trying to facilitate this. And I want to say on behalf of them, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're most welcome, brethren.
This is a wonderful, wonderful experience just sitting here, being here, and to make the moment more magical, I here with the legends. This is a magic moment. Ma'am, I would like also to say, I brought my grandson, being part of the juniors, with sharing the anthem. And when they brought he down here, the energy was different. Since COVID, I never feel that coming from children and parents, everybody fussy. This is an investment that I see is one for the children. People looking for instant gratification, man, we can't plant a seed and eat fruit at the same time. It does take a time for this process to turn. This gonna grow. Ma'am, on behalf of the children of this country again, once again, thank you. Thank your administration, and may God continue to bless you and bless this country. Good evening, everybody.
Thank you. Pavel?
Yes. Okay. Yes, just one quick question from me. Basically, first of all, congratulations on accomplishing this in a very short period of time, 6 months. I think that's remarkable. Equally impressive, though, are the numbers quoted by Mr. Lynch as it relates to arrivals and as it relates to occupancy, especially during this soft period, December to around May, June, around this time.
You said soft period?
Well, the soft period. Sorry,
No,
the soft period.
no. This December to April is the winter season.
Sorry, my
brother.
bad. The soft period now, June to November. What's the plan of action, however, beyond hosting this major event to try to maintain these type of numbers next year and the year after this event has long gone?
As I indicated, one of the reasons why we went after this tournament was to get the global audience that we will get, for people to see what we have available in Barbados, and to be able also to invest not just in the refurbishment of Kensington as it was, but to make Kensington as it should be. By being able to put the mats in place for the outfield, it means that we can have Independence Day parades here again one day and cricket the next morning. By being able to do that there, it means, and to have the drop-in pitches, as you heard Damien say, we can have tennis in the middle. We are now beginning to open up the opportunities for sports tourism in a way that we really wanted to do post-2007. Of course, we were not in government for that period, and then when we came back, we went through the challenges that I've already outlined. I feel as though that I am now starting a fresh innings, and that the ball is equally fresh, and that we are now going to be able to play our hand and to use Kensington as the mecca, to be able to get branding rights for Kensington so that revenue comes in, to be able to ensure that we can have multi-purpose games here. And I also have a dream, and Bert, I don't know whether the legends are prepared to take it up, but there is between December, the head of the BTMI is here. Between December and April, May, the cruise tourism is up. The stopping just short there, across the road. Can you imagine, I know it means that you might have to go in the gym a little bit, but can you imagine having T10 tournaments here, where half of each side comes from the cruise ship, so that people pay to come in and play, and that you then have others coming and watching, so that you have these literally premier events that leverage Barbados' cricket reputation and brand with the people who are coming, who we need to spend a little money when they leave Barbados. They will go home and say, do you know who I played cricket with in Barbados? Otis. You understand? Played cricket with all, Vasper. No, all the rest. I know that Gordon was supposed to be here this evening. I haven't seen him, so Gordon. But the point is that a T10 game will not put a lot of pressure on the muscles and the bones. But what it does is to create an opportunity for the legends. And then when they come off, they buy the T-shirts, and they buy the caps, and they get the paraphernalia. So all of those are things that I think that can be in the mix. But you see that gentleman in the white shirt? You should have asked him, not me, because I can hold him accountable for making sure that in here is used as a multi-purpose facility. And then, of course, there are the teams that will come, because once you have the indoor facility with the technology, you also open to be able to allow other teams to come and train here and to pay in exchange. Okay? Thank you. Any more comments? Any more questions? Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
I will go with the little youngster first. You hold, ma'am. We take the little youngster.
Hello. My name is Cairo. I go to St. Prince Boys School. I am 10 years old. I could tell that workers did a very good job on this field. And I just want to say, you will see me here in 2035.
But Kyle, Kyle, you need to tell them what you told me when I came in. When I asked you if you are a batsman, a bowler, a wicketkeeper, what did you tell me?
I am an all-rounder.
Oi! So I am going to beg you to come down, and I am going to ask these two gentlemen and Mr. Garner to take a picture with you before we finish the evening. Okay? Thank you. So that in 2035 you can show everybody when you come back and play. My evening has been made. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. All of the planned entertainment for Kensington Oval, hopeful entertainment, I would just like you guys to remember that Kensington Oval is in the backyards of the residents of 4th Avenue, Pickwick Gap. And it's not nice. We need respect and we need acknowledgement. Secondly, you talk about all of the flights coming in for the Cricket World Cup. What about the cruise tourism?
That's what we were talking about, but crews may not come for Cricket World Cup because ships come.
Sorry, not only for Cricket World Cup, but the
Generally.
summer season.
Yeah, we are working on that now. Most of the cruise ships go to the Mediterranean in the summer season. But we have been arguing that the penetration level in Africa and in the Middle East, in the Gulf states, is only 3%. And they don't know anything about summer or winter. We don't know summer or winter. And therefore, we want to be able to have ships start to look to come here during the summer that's targeted to the Africans and the people in the Middle East, because the people in North America go to the Mediterranean in the summer. So give us some time. It takes 2 years before the itinerary of a cruise ship is, or let me put it this way, it takes 2 years for them to announce the itinerary of a cruise ship because it takes a lot to make it happen. So we will be working in the midterm to be able to see how we can get more ships coming here during the summer and not just in winter. Okay? Thank you. Who's next?
So excuse me, Ms. Molly, what about the residents of 4th Avenue, Pickwick Gap?
Sorry?
The residents of Pickwick Gap, New Orleans. I mean, all of the entertainment and so on in Kensington is overbearing at times.
So
I mean, you guys,
I can understand, and
you guys, come out, enjoy, party, so on. Why we try, you make your revenue. Why we try to rest together to make ours, and it's real difficult.
I understand, and I think there should be a balance. Okay? So rest assured, that not only just in Pickwick Gap. Hold on, let me just finish. I hear you, and that's why I'm saying rest assured that there needs to be a balance. We have other people across other parts of the island making similar complaints now. And we have to find a balance that allows people to earn, but also people to respect the rights of those who also live in residential communities that are near open door facilities where the music is. So there will be a balance. Damien, you want to speak?
So that's one thing that we certainly heard as we walked through the neighborhood. You and I have talked on numerous occasions on this, and we are taking a look at how we do the parties here. We now have the grandstand in the position where we would normally have the big stage for a lot of the big fetes. So that means that the stages will now have to be repositioned. So you should have a less of an impact, specifically on the 4th Avenue, like you mentioned. And, and as part of the Good Neighbor program, we're looking to, integrate all of what we do, with you guys, work with you guys in terms of, utilizing your skill sets, having you included in events that happen here and so on and so forth. So it's not going to be one-dimensional. Is it going to be perfect? Certainly not, but you are located very close, and we are certainly going to take that into consideration as we plan and execute events going forward.
Go ahead, Mom.
Good night, Honorable Prime Minister. Firstly, let me say what an awesome job you and your team has done here at the Mecca. Seeing that is right in my backyard. You know, I welcome the ambience. But I have a query. I don't know who will be able to answer my query. As a resident in the New Orleans area, with so many restrictions in the surrounding area in terms of vehicular traffic. I know when it was the last World Cup, they said, oh, we will have vehicular passes and stuff. It never happened. I'm not sure if this time around it would be any vehicular passes for persons living in Pickwick Gap, New Orleans, Chapman Lane, the surrounding area. That's my query. And the next one is, I'm not sure if the team did any walkthroughs within the New Orleans area and surrounding area pertaining to what is going on. As the young lady said, we feel left out because we really don't know what is going on unless we see it in the media or hear it in the media.
I
Thank
do
you.
think that there were a number of walkthroughs, but I'll ask Damien to speak. Damien?
So to address the first point, it was the passes, yeah. So I wasn't involved in 2007, but from what I understand from the team, there were certainly passes given out in 2007, and there will be car passes given out again this year to the residents in the area to allow for vehicular access. There are going to be some road adjustments, and I think those announcements have started to go, being announced and go public over the last day or two. So there will be some adjustments, but the truth is there will be no business closures during cricket. So the intent is not to stop any businesses from operating. So businesses will operate with some adjustments. We don't want vehicular traffic to come in and stay in the area. You come in, you do your business, and you go back out. Those who live in the area, you will be allowed access to your houses as normal with vehicular passes. So that will happen. Yeah, and we did do walkthroughs, including that area. So we will broaden the net as we continue with the Good Neighbor program. So the Good Neighbor program is just not for World Cup. As we've talked to everyone that we've visited so far and who've come to the meetings, this is a legacy item, right? We truly want to have good relationships with the neighbors. So this is going to go beyond June, and that net is going to broaden. We've collected information in terms of email and numbers. So we've been sending out blasts, email blasts, and WhatsApps, but mostly email blasts with respect to anything that's happening here at the Oval, even when we testing lights and so on and so forth. So we've started it, we'll continue it, we'll expand it. So we want to improve the communication, certainly with respect to anything that's going on at the Oval.
Thank you. And ma'am, rest assured that the effort is there, but not every, I know from canvassing that every time you get to a house, everybody don't be home. You understand? But we apologize that you didn't hear directly. Thank you. Anyone else, or can we start to wrap up?
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. I will say that this crowd is so beautiful. A lovely crowd. We should be proud of Barbados. Barbados is a real proud country. And one thing we need in Barbados is customer service. And where we have customer service, we have the whole thing, because customer service goes a long way. And we have to know that Barbados is number one in the whole world. We gotta get credit to Barbados. I have a beautiful wife, and my wife passionate about Barbados, and she passionate about customer service, because she worked in a hotel, for a lot of years, and she know that customer service carry a lot of weight, because we have to have pride in our nation, and we have to have pride in Barbados, and we have pride in customer service, because if we have customer service, Barbados will be more beautiful. Thank you,
sir. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just as we get ready to wrap up, we'll take two more and then we'll wrap up. I want Suez to be able to address us before we close off. And then I want us to do a little special thing at the end. Yes, sir.
I just want to congratulate you on what a lovely job you have done here. It's an immaculate stadium, really. I love it. But
thank you.
What I really want to talk about, though, is the condition that the people keep maintaining our beautiful country. I would like some of the garbage and the dumping, the illegal dumping to stop around the place. There's no point in having a beautiful facility like this and dumping all over the place, you know. I happen to travel a bit through the country, you know. On my little bike, I do a little riding, you know. And just about everywhere I go, people dump. They dump dogs, they dump fridges,
Agreed.
they dump stoves, they dump everything. Please.
I want you to add, I want the others here to add their voices to yours and mine. The others will tell you that I sometimes feel that I am the police for bush, because everywhere I drive on a road and see the bush growing, my heart is dropped, because I know we can do better. And also, I'm not talking about highways now alone. I'm talking about roads where houses are and where people live. Because I go back to my statement, one blow is kill old cow. And if we take care of our environment, trust me, we're going to make sure that the mosquitoes and the rats and that don't come. But equally, there is nothing more beautiful than looking at a clean and green environment. And that is why people say eat with your eyes first. So we're going to continue working. I want it to get into the schools. I want the schools to look different. I never seen a body run through a bougainvillea hedge yet. So that if you have the bougainvillea hedges on the outside, they will flower during the dry season. And if on the inside you got a thick fence, a thick hedge, like pittosporum or any of those thick hedges, then sweet lime, they're going to run into prickles. I want a hedge on the inside that if you're running after a ball, you ain't going to get cut up. But on the outside, if you're trying to get into the school, get all the prickles and the sweet lime and everything that you want, because you have no right getting in the school through that way. So if we can do that at every school ground across the country, then it will also become a place where our children can go to school in beauty. It's not only rich people children that deserve to go to school in beauty. All Bajan children deserve to go to school in an environment that is pleasing to the eye. And you will soon hear us launch a program that will ask for community volunteers near the primary and secondary schools. Because when Easter comes and when summer comes, you need people who have a green thumb to help go in and make sure that the plant's still watered, that the plant's still pruned. Yes, you have your groundsmen, but we all know that when you got people who love plants, taking care of plants, how much better is it look? It's our country. Let me do it.
Yes, Miss Prime Minister. But I'm glad to hear you talk about the rich people. You know, there's some rich guys here from rich people. They have some lovely homes and so on. But I think we need to educate them, because some of these lovely homes that we have, you like to call them AHs, astute homeowners. You can put any other meaning you want to that. But they have these houses and they have some huge, tremendous water tanks, either under them or around them. But they have no idea how easily a mosquito can breathe. You know, some of them have these huge tanks, and the inlet to the tanks, as well, the inlets as well as the overflow, there is no netting to stop mosquitoes getting in or out.
That's why environmental public health and environmental protection also needs to help us maintain these facilities. So I thank you for bringing it to our attention. Anyone else? Last one? Yes, sir, right here. Yes, Ross?
Hello, good evening. Kim Waldron here.
Kim, you caused me to get another next because I had called Ross, but you go along.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with me bowling the last ball. I'm a good bowler.
You won't be the last.
I play
Ross
some
can be the
cricket,
last.
and I play multiple sports. Don't watch the size. But when I walked into Kensington this evening, what excited me a lot, because I love building, are the two removable structures that you have here. And talking about Kensington being a multi-sport facility, and over here where we have the sand, where you have the stand, the party stand normally, I was thinking, you know, if that sand could be made a little deeper right there in front of those stands, y'all could play beach volleyball over there. Seriously, beach volleyball could play right there on the sand, and you have the seats right there in front of it, you know. So
thank you.
Not only on the field, but there's room out here to do other stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And also, I would like to call out to corporate Barbados. Y'all need to get on board with sport at the grassroots level. Yes, yes, yes.
And also inside Kensington with some branding
yes,
too.
yes,
'Cause
yes.
every other cricket ground I know is have the corporate sponsors' names all around the ground.
Right.
Enough said.
We just had a cricket tournament here in Barbados last weekend, and a female softball tournament. And I used to play softball cricket. I was ashamed because Barbados could not even field one team. And we had 4 teams from Trinidad, teams from Guyana. Barbados could not field one team. We need to do better. Corporate Barbados needs to step up and help out some of these sports that are going wrong at the grassroots level.
Thank you. Yes, Ras.
Hi, good night, or I should say good evening, Honorable Prime Minister, distinguished guests, citizens of Barbados, near and far, and all who tuning in here live and direct streaming. I have a couple of queries, but before going to queries here now, I would like to commend y'all for the job at Kensington. It looks very beautiful, and y'all did a great job. That's why they first and foremost, I must commend y'all. I know a lot of time and effort went into it, so I'm planning. Event planning is very difficult. It only look like small tab, but when you do international, there's a lot of work going in. But anyway, thank you in the meantime. First and foremost thing now, talking on behalf of the grassroots vendors of this nation here now, that actually helped build Kensington and, you know, the atmosphere and the ambience. I was really disappointed now that, y'all, I think it was on the television, they say that the vendors, you're hoping to get a village for the vendors outside of Kensington over here, so to make it like a festival atmosphere for the patrons of the cricket, you know. So apparently now, I understand not everybody that applied could get in and stuff like that there. So apparently what about the grassroots vendors outside, because we don't want to be away from all the action. We still want to interact with the people, because people come here to see Bajan culture, Bajan heritage, Bajan interaction with the people. So we don't want to be segregated from the actual crowd that come in here, you know, you understand me? Because right now, these are some different people that come here, the Omanians, the Namibians, these are Africans, you know what I mean? Some different people, some strange, weird names of people that never play cricket yet internationally. So we want to know the vendors, where we fit in now, because we was promised, we was hearing now, I think it's you, the Honorable Prime Minister, said that you were hoping to get a village in Corridor just outside Kensington. So I don't want to be too far away, you know what I mean? Because, you know, I was really disappointed when I put on my name to hear, no, well, look, you know, everything bum out. Yeah, so.
Yes, sir. In all of the corridors leading into Kensington Oval, you have an opportunity to sell, right? All of the corridors, both on Fontebelle and on President Kennedy Drive, there's select areas, but those of you like you who move around the itinerant vendors and sell, we are not prohibiting you from vending in those areas. So you have opportunities.
Okay, I'm
you can
grateful
talk to me,
of that.
talk to me afterwards as well.
I'm grateful for it.
Thank you.
Yes, hello, and just one more thing, people.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Just one more thing, not to hold up the time. One more thing, I'm going forward for future development of cricket and other sports. As you mentioned, we hope corporate Barbados get on board. We got too many young people dashing away their life or wasting life away. when they could do meaningful stuff. We got too many youngsters smoking their life away, drinking their life away, so I'm paranoid. We want some meaningful programs for these youngsters here, so now, though. And I know it's be very hard right now from single parents, some families to afford certain, programs for the children, because I know the government have some program, but we want to carry another notch up. We need corporate bars to get on board. We need insurance for these athletes here, so now. You understand me? Don't let me just look at it as just a hobby only. Let me look at it as a profession, because sports is open a window of opportunities for one and all.
And a fella might not end up representing for Barbados or West Indies, but he could be an umpire, he could be a match referee, he could be a groundsman, he could be anything. So that we want to create that ecosystem, which is why he said, and asked the question, do you think Usain Bolt was smoking and drinking while he was trying to become the fastest man in the world?
Never.
A fella that playing football, if you don't have lung capacity, how you going to do extra time? You can't do it. Simple, straight talk. So if we love the sports that we say we love, then you got to respect the temple. The temple is the body, from the mind to the physical body. You understand?
Yes.
And that is what we need to be getting in our children.
Yes.
Because our children, it isn't only Sir Gary who can be the greatest of all time. It isn't only Sir Wes who can capture the imagination of people all over the Commonwealth. It isn't only Big Bird. It is the youngsters coming up who can do the same. And we have to give them their best chance at success. And let me talk to the parents now, and to the aunties, and to the uncles, and to the rest of us who are the friends of the ones who got talent. Pastor, when you see a fella down in Westbury that got talent, what you do? Make sure you take care of him, not true? And make sure that nobody don't unfair them. And make sure when you see him doing certain things and you see him starting to smoke at 15, cut it out. You see him start to drink at 15, cut it out. There is time enough for smoking and drinking in the rest of your life. But you can't respect the temple if you're smoking and drinking and trying to play sports at this time. Straight talk. And if people get vexed with me, I am sorry, but I got to talk the truth.
Yes, Mr. And one more thing. I hope that this Kensington Oval do not be, we call it the white elephant.
No.
We going far from here now. This need to be a multi-purpose investment.
That's
and
why
need to be utilized, because last kind it was underutilized. We need to bring in back some revenue for Kensington. Yeah. That's why, as you say, rebrand it. We should got corporate taking care of this. Is the government get revenue like that there.
Exactly.
So we need Barbados, corporate Barbados. I'm pleading as a citizen of this country. Parents,
and let me
create
send
the opportunity.
Signal. Let me send the signal. Kensington is not only a Barbadian icon, it is an international icon. After Lord's and after the MCG, the third most iconic ground on the planet Earth is Kensington Oval. Yeah. You are standing in it. And left to me, I would like to make it number one, because you know how it is, when catch you in pass you.
All right then, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for coming out. And I want to thank you for helping to share this feeling. When I first came in here, I told you I felt emotional. And as we have spent the evening speaking, I feel that we are on the right track, going in the right direction. But I know that we will only make it if all Barbadians, not just within the Oval, but beyond the boundary, play their part. I can think of no better person to close off this evening than Sir Wes to give us a few words. So Wes, you have been an icon like Sir Gary that has brought pride to the people of this country. And I know that you are a man of many words, but you have said that you believe that you can share, as we close off, what will be the last occasion that we can come in here before the first ball is balled on Sunday. I trust and pray that many of us will be back, and we have made a commitment to getting the school children to the day games, I'm telling you straight, we're not bringing the school children to the night games because the night games start at 8:30, and I ain't bringing nobody children out at 11:30 and 12 o'clock at night unless they come in with the parents. So who get vexed, but that's the position. But during the day, we will try to get the school children and some school children in here as much as possible. And why? I want them to have the same memories that I have, Joel, of you all playing against Pakistan and me waiting as a little girl to be able to get close to greatness as we saw it. I want them equally, young Bajans, to feel that way and to tell the story 30 and 40 years. And from you, my young brother, 2035 is why we're doing this, Tyrell. And for the others who were in here who also told me that they want to play at Kensington. So Wes, over to you. And before we leave, I know that every one of us in here will join me in giving 3 cheers, not just for the people who helped make this possible, from who cleaned the seats, right back to who built and put up the stands, right back to who refurbished, who put up the lights, all of the people who had anything to do with Kensington, and secondly, all of the people that made the Mecca great, meaning yourselves, but above all else, the people that brought pride to this country, because everybody wanted to see those who were the greatest play on this ground. Thank you. So Wes, over to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know that is not a wise thing to speak after the Prime Minister, and people will start to walk out or things like that. But I would like to say 3 things. One, that about a year ago, I fell down after I came back from London. I came back one night from London, and I probably was very tired, and I fell and broke my hand, and my right hand. And I didn't think that that could be something, real bad for me. But I tell you, I wouldn't want any of you to fall down and break your hand, especially if you're 86. And what happened is that so many people have been phoning me, or when they see me, I think they start to pity me because, coming down here tonight, when Bird was taking me down, people were concerned and things like that. But the problem is that the doctors told me that at 87, is 80 I am? Yeah. 87, I need to, I wouldn't walk. I haven't walked now for a year. I have not been able to walk for a year because the doctors said, don't do that and fall again. And if you fall again, that might be the end. Okay, I got real scared about that. So, I did exactly what they said. So I just want to tell everybody that things are not as bad as they look. I'm sure that in another 3 months, I'll be walking again. And I really believe that it is, very important for me to do that because, they're phoning me every day and telling me, I hear that you're dying and things like that. You go in the bank, the same thing happened, you know what I mean? So I did not really wish to come here with this large crowd and see me limping or Big Bird lifting me up. You know what I mean? I used to lift up him. I know, and this is what happened. So I'm very grateful. I'd like to thank everybody who's been very good to me. And, I am hoping that within another 4 or 5 months, I will be able to run and things like that again. Look, I think it's hard for a man. It's hard for a man after a whole year. Even to go in the toilet, you have to be accompanied. That's not easy. My daughter, I don't know how she managed, but every day she will make sure everything I do, helps me to, come again. I would like to talk about the cricket let my daughter come and tell me what to do again. But I am going to tell you about the cricket. Two other things I want to say. I want to tell you all that I don't think a lot of people in Barbados know exactly what really is happening at this beautiful country, in this beautiful place. I want to tell you that Kensington Oval is considered by most cricketers in the world as, you know, won either first, second, or 30, I think. I think that is very important. And when I came here last year, and I saw little trees growing into the roof there, you know, I saw things, I mean, going real wrong. I felt, you know, I could cry because I was the president of when we got the first I tell you why. When I went there, this boy, Darren from Jamaica, a beautiful thing he gave the people. And, you know, we went in front of the thing to tell them why Barbados could do it, why Jamaica could do it, why all the Caribbean islands could do it. And he did a fantastic thing, you know. And then one man got up and said, well, that was a fantastic speech, but who is going to deal with this? I got up, I said, listen, I am the president of the West Indies in terms of cricket. And you want to know who's going to do it? I will do it. I will go to every prime minister in the Caribbean and tell them exactly what we want. And then they backed off and they gave us. I just want to say another thing to this. When you getting this thing does not necessarily say that that is the end, you know. When we got here, you find that Barbadians were very upset. You know why? These people did not wish us to do things that we normally do, bring food inside. You can't tell a Bajan that he can't bring food inside. You can't tell a Bajan then that he can't bring a certain drink. So some fellas then came and bring in a Coca-Cola or a soda, put some wine in it, or rum, and then bring it in. Because Barbadians had to get around from that. But it was a very serious thing. You see, so I wish to tell you, Mrs. Bergman, I want to tell you that this is a fantastic thing that you all have done. You know what I mean? I don't go anywhere now, so I read the papers. I hear everything everybody says about the money and things like that. Okay, yeah. I mean, people will say that. But as I am not a minister or anything like that. I am just a cricketer, an ex-cricketer. And I'm telling you that I am very happy that this has happened. I just want you to know. I want you to tell you that this is fantastic. Because the other thing that is going to happen, what is going to shock them, that this West Indian team, that everybody kicking about and beating them and all that sort of thing, I know you don't agree with me, but I think we have the best batting lineup in the whole world. I tell you, if you don't believe me, go look at them. You know, we are ready. I do not believe that the bowling is, you know, exactly the right thing. I don't know. I'd like to see some pacers and things, but we have two spinners in the side and things like that. We've only had three great spinners in the world, that Ramadan, Valentine, and Lance Gibbs. But if these two that they have are, you know, good enough, I am telling you, we have a pretty good chance. Thousands of West Indians will come and flock here when we play. I'm telling you that. Now, that is the thing. I also want to tell you another thing. When people come here, you know, they come here and love this country. Now, last year, a gentleman, Collis King, you know, I don't call Collis a gentleman. My boy Collis, a gentleman Collis. He phoned me from London and said that the gentleman had asked him if he could come to Barbados and if I would speak to him. I asked him, why, what's going on? He said, well, this man said that he has now had 4 people in this whole world that he would like to meet. And one was Sir Gary. I mean, Sir Gary was, playing, he for about 30 years, he would have gone to England and doing a fantastic job. People don't seem to know that. But, he did that. And he said, he spoke to me, that was one. Then he said he had another 2, and I was the last one, and he would like to come and see me. I said, well, sir, I would hardly not be able to come to England. He said, no, I'm coming for the cricket. He came for the cricket. This man, I don't know how he get in. He just got in, he tell the man down there that I want to see where it's all, and then coming out. He looked like he had a lot of money, so he might have given the fella a little $5 or $10, and it would be all right. So the fella came in, and he spoke to me, and he told me who he was. And I said, I'm very glad that you all have come to us again. I'm very happy about that. The man told me, look, Wes, this country is the greatest thing that I have ever encountered. I said, really? He said, yeah. He said, well, let me tell you something. All the money that I brought here, Wes, I'm going to spend all. I said, really? He said, last night we went up in the place there by the back of right where the House of Assembly. There are places out there, and they went and have a good time. He said, tonight, we going in Carden Village. You know what a man asked me? Wes, you know Carden Village? I said, listen, I'm born in a place called Glenderry, not the president, but outside. I said, that is one thing, we know everything about that. And he really, he was very clean. He said thousands of people, Wes, have come to this place over the years. And that is why I have come. So I just want to tell you all that bringing this wonderful statement here is a wonder. It is this thing is I think one of the best. Well, I mustn't say that because personally, I must tell you, I would like to cry about it. I think I've only got about 9 wickets in Kensington Oval. This place nearly killed me here, I tell you. Let me say, the Kensington Oval, man, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I got 190-something test wickets, and and only in 48 tests, 47 tests. And let me tell you something, I would like to have at least 60 or 80 in Barbados. And I blow my back out here year after year and end up, I feel real bad. Out of 190 test wickets, I only got 8 wickets here. So I just want to know, right? So that is true. The last thing I want to tell you is this. I want you all to continue, to, as the Prime Minister said, continue to do what you have to do with these people. Be nice to them, and they love these places. He told me he's going to spend every penny, and he looked to me like if he bring a lot of money down here. You understand? So that is it. I just wish to say one last thing. We're laughing at we're ready? I know. You know what it is with me. I stopped doing speaking and all that before, so I ain't so hot now. But I just wish to say to you all that do not listen to people talking, about the fact that this is not the right thing to do at Kensington. I am a cricketer, and I'm telling you that this is a fantastic thing. I just want to tell you all that. I don't care who say to the contrary. That I don't care who everybody is, but who every person is saying, so I'd like them to come and discuss it with me. Okay? So that's it. So look, Prime Minister, I really want to say to you that this is a real wonderful thing. I wasn't going to come down because I find people start to pity me all the time and things like that. But I want to tell every one of them that I will be out there. I went from 200 pounds to 150. That's a joke. 50, 150. You know? But now, I want to tell everybody, Hall is 180 now, I guess. Yeah, that's how I tell it. 180. So I will be out there again. Okay, my daughter tell me to wrap up. Okay. Okay, I would just like to say then that thank you very much. Thank you for coming. I was very skeptical about coming, you know, but I am very happy that I have come. And you to tell anybody that we're all say that this idea of making this wonderful place a beautiful place to play cricket, that I think this is still one of the best pitches in the world. So I would just like to thank the Prime Minister and her ministers and things. I know how things work out. I ain't really begging for nothing. I just want to know that I am saying that out there in the state that it is in, I am very happy. I'm very happy that Kensington alone, again, is the best, one of the best in the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sir Wes. And as I said, if we all stand and 3 cheers, let's go. Only as we know how to do. Hip it! Hip it! Hip it! And may we now say that silent prayer that I shall not say publicly for who should be out there on the 29th of June holding the trophy. Good night and God bless.
So we can do a little thing with the lights here now for those who would like to see. I gotta give a disclaimer first. So for those of you who are photosensitive and may suffer from epilepsy, you may want to close your eyes. For others of you, we can just do a little, you know, we learning the system here, but we can do a little dance and like color changing and what's not. So those who want to stick around can stick around. Others of you do have a good night.
I like Yeah, Barbados boy, won't give it up for the world. Nothing like coming home to the rock, boy, for real. Come on, let's go.
Gem of the Caribbean Sea, one nothing with me. I am a pigeon, I'm a pigeon. Yeah, 166 square miles of pure love, pure smile. I am a pigeon, yeah, a pigeon. Yeah, goes on and crystal blue sea, one nothing with me. I am a pigeon, I'm a pigeon. Yeah, a symbol of pride and industry. Christchurch to St. Lucie. I am a pigeon, a pigeon. Wherever I roam or I go, I will let them know. No matter what I say or I do, blue, yellow, black and blue. Represent it. Come on. Drinks, rags, repping my Bajan flag. Vibes, music, jump up and down and sing it. Come